What's up, YouTube? Today I'm gonna do an instructional video. Did I say that right? Instructional video on how to wacky rig fish. Okay, for starters, you want some sort of trick worm, or you want some sort of Thankyou to wacky rig fish. These are my two favorite to use. You got the zoom trick worms, this style. You can go with the longer. You can go with the most colors will work in ponds, especially not pressure ponds. But wacky rig fishing is a great way to fish pressured ponds as well. Okay, so now you've got the type of lure you're gonna use. You gotta figure out what kind of hooks. Okay, so at Bass Pro Shops, Academy, I think Academy sells them. They sell these specifically made for wacky rigging. The hooks, they're extra wide like that. Makes it a lot easier. They're a little bit thicker, so they don't, when you're jigging it through the water, you're not cutting through your worm every time and having to put a new worm on there. It's a thicker wire hook. Your worm's gonna stay on there longer, last you longer, saves money, catches more fish. Okay, you got the hook, you got the worm. What I use, Spike It garlic stuff, it works. Like this watermelon red Thankyou from Gary Yamamoto, favorite color. I dye the tip like that because it looks just like a dying bluegill perched on the bottom, barely living to survive. You know what eats dying bluegill? Big bass. I caught a 7.5 pounder last week. It was one on the Zoom trick worm, watermelon candy. Had the tip dyed. They love it. Okay, you got the hook, you got the worm, you got an extra tip. Also, when fishing wacky rigs, nail weights. Mosquito. I don't know if you've ever used nail weights. This is a lead nail weight. You can pinch it where you want to, and then you can just slide the nail weights into the Thankyou. So you're fishing deeper water, like 5 feet deeper. Maybe you can go 10 feet deeper. But I mean, if it's deeper than 5 feet and you're fishing with a weightless Thankyou, that thing takes like 5 years to sink. Ain't nobody got time for that. Put these nail weights, it's gonna sink so much faster, and you get you down to where the bass are faster, catching more fish, etc., etc. All right. So you got the worm, you got your nail weights for your deep water, you got your hook, the line. I throw my wacky rigs on my spinning rod. It's a Duckett Ghost 7-foot medium power spinning rod. Great rods. Duckett's my favorite. I'm only buying Ducketts from now on. I have 2 of them. Plan to get a lot more. The spinning reel I have is a Lew's. Only throw Lew's. I love Lew's. They're great. It's a Lew's Speed Spool T400. The gear ratio is a 5:1. At Bass Pro Shops, when I went to get this, they had the T200 and the T300. And I asked the guy, what size should I get? He said they're all super great. Just the T400 has the most line capacity. The T200 has the least line capacity. So I went with the most because what's going to hurt? I'm throwing it on 10-pound braid because the braid sensitivity is second to none. You can throw it on fluorocarbon, but you can cast farther with braid, you can feel more with braid. And then the only thing is they can see braid because, I mean, it's like basically yarn. So I don't have it tied on right now. I got a little bit lazy. But I tie on like a 12-inch fluorocarbon leader usually, like an 8-pound leader. It's great for wacky rigging. Catches tons of fish. Okay, so you got your rod and reel, you got your worm with your nail weights, you got your extra tip, you know what hook to use, you know what worms to use. I'll show you some more hooks that I use for wacky rigging. Okay, so these little bit smaller ones, and I like to have my bigger ones. I ran out. These are weedless wacky rig hooks. These things, you can pull us through any moss, over trees. That hook is not going to get snagged on it. You can pop it right over for that bass to inhale it. And then, after you watch this video, you're going to run to your local Walmart and you're going to go get some Wacky rig hooks, right? Okay, Walmart doesn't carry weedless Wacky rig hooks, but they carry these things. Bait holder hooks that are weedless. They work, but they have these little barbs. I don't know if you can see them. They have barbs on the back. I bend them down with pliers so that way when you're pulling through moss, they aren't grabbing through the moss, and it just makes everything a lot smoother. So, you got everything you need. I'm going to show you some underwater footage of my favorite worms and why I use them. And also to note, you can use, I don't know, what's this, like a Strike King, I think?
Yeah, I see.
I don't know. Alright, so Gary Yamamoto makes the best Sinkos on the market, hands down. Yum Dingers, Strike King, whatever they are called, I don't know. Gary Yamamoto is the best way to go. They look the same, but the underwater footage, I'll show you. When Gary Yamamoto sink, I don't know what it is, but they wiggle like crazy. Not that much, but they wiggle like crazy, and they look great underwater. These, they kind of just look like a piece of plastic. These work, like at Walmart. These are way cheaper. They're like half the price. You catch fish on them. But when they're fishing a pressured pond and you need that extra boost, you gotta go with Gary Yamamoto, because you can't beat Gary Yamamoto. I don't know why. He just got it down. He knows what he's doing. So now I'm going to show you some underwater footage of a Senko versus another brand. I got tons of different brands, even though Yamamoto is the best. Here is the Gary Yamamoto Watermelon Red with the tip dyed and that garlic spike it free falling. And you can just see the wiggle. I just had in that slow motion. The wiggle it gives off is ridiculously good. I'm about to get another good clip of it. Right there. You can just see as it's falling, it's looking like a literal dying bait fish or perch in this color, for example. And now I switched to Yum Dinger, and just the difference is so remarkable. Look at this. It's literally a falling piece of plastic in the water. There is no lifelike resemblance to this thing. It's literally, the difference is so clear. It's crazy. The difference is, it's just crazy. Like, you think, like, how much different are they? They look the exact same, but when they're in the water like that, and you're trying to catch the bigger bass, you can tell why Gary Yamamoto should be the go-to versus a Yum Dinger. I mean, that proves it 100% right there. And now I do the Big Bite Baits stick bait. I don't remember what it's called, but like the Yum Dinger, it just has no wiggle when it is falling on slack line. It just, nothing at all. Compared to the Gary Yamamoto, these are just pieces of plastic floating in the water. Now I can give it lifelike resemblance by jigging my rod, but it takes more work, and then there's still not that wiggle on the free fall. Like the Gary Yamamoto gives you that extra help you might need on those pressured ponds when you're fishing.